And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and movie review for the brand new Sony Marvel or Sonyverse Madame Webb. That's right, I went into that shark water, swam, saw the movie that everybody is hating on right now, and I wanted to see it for myself and judge it on my own merits because morbidly curious. Spider-Man's my favorite, one of my favorite characters besides Batman. So I wanted to go check this film out and see what the heck was all the hubbub about it. Okay, so if you don't know what Madame Webb is, basically, you have Madame Webb played by Dakota Johnson, who's Cassandra Webb, who is basically an ambulance driver, who's an ambulance technician, and she starts getting psychic powers, and then she starts seeing the future. She starts seeing a future of this I'm gonna call it the Rogue Spider-Man because he's kind of basically Spider-Man. This villain or the Rogue Spider-Man, I'm gonna call him that. She sees him going after these three girls, and she has no idea why. She has no idea why she's getting these powers. She has no idea why this is happening to her. It's kind of like living in deja vu. So she sees the Rogue Spider-Man going after these three girls. So she decides to help out these three young ladies. One of them is played by Sydney Sweden. Probably butchered that. Apologize. And she ends up helping them three and realizing, hey, listen, y'all three are in danger. I've seen it. This guy's after you to kill you, and it's kind of like a Terminator kind of a situation, you know, where bad guy sees future or knows about the future about these three young women, and he wants to change their destinies. You also have Adam Scott in here who plays a young Ben Parker, where Ben Parker, and he's Cassandra's Webb's partner in this, and they basically this is the movie. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. After watching it, I saw this movie yesterday, so I wanted to think about it. I had fun. I had fun. That's all I can say. Is this a perfect movie? No, it's not a perfect movie. No, 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 no. The dialogue in this film is just like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, but I still was very entertained by it because it did something here that I like when a movie does for me. Me personally. I mean, it may hit you differently. It may hit other people differently as well. For me, a movie has to grab me and have me be intrigued with the story. I was just very curious about what were they gonna do with Madame Web. The first iteration of Madame Web I've ever saw was the animated Spider-Man series from the '90s. Okay, played by Stanley's wife, his late wife. May she rest in peace. That was the first time I've ever known about Madame Web. I didn't know who she was, comic book wise, until I saw that show. So I was very curious of what they were gonna do with this character here. So she sees the future. She sees all these things happening. She has no idea why she's connected. I mean, the background they gave us for her is kind of like cliche, fine, whatever. But I was still intrigued by it. I wasn't just sitting there just looking at the screen going, can you get to the point of the film? I wasn't. I was actually thinking about it and watching it at the same time, like, okay, so this is a Terminator style version of a superhero film. I'm like, okay, not bad so far. Worst dialogue I've ever heard in my life in a film, but yeah, other than that, okay, I'm intrigued. You got this dark Spider-Man character showing up. I'm like, all right, I see what he can do. Worst villain I've ever seen in my life, but you know what? He still entertained me because at least he did it on his own. Because I really hate when villains, especially the weak villains, because he was a weak villain. Let's face the fact he got beat by girls. It's not nothing wrong about that, but just saying, I mean, so this guy was walking like he's Mr. Suave, sophisticated kind of guy when he was down in the costume, and then when he's in costume, I'm like, all right, he's gonna kick some butt. He's gonna really be a threat, and then he just like was just a bad villain. Okay, he made Malik from the Dark World Thor movie look like the greatest secondary Thanos we've ever seen in the MCU. But anyway, he was so cool just to see because it made me wonder, like, what would a Spider-Man movie be if there was a rogue Spider-Man who can't shoot webs but can leap like a spider, crawl like a spider and go up against walls like a spider? Can he be a threat? And yeah, he looked menacing, and I wanted to see that. I wanted to see him be menacing, but at the end, he was just the throwaway villain. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Another reason I kind of like this film is because I kind of thought the characters were, the main girls. Yeah, they were stupid, sure, but they were two. Apparently, this movie's in 2003, so it was like that cheesy 2000s era kind of cheesiness. But it was like, they're adorable, fine, whatever. But I was still entertained by it in a way, in a laughable way. Like I said before, this is not a very good film, not in the sense at all. It does have some weird dialogue in here, especially with the bad guy. That guy's dialogue was so cheesy. I was just like this the whole time. But I still was somehow, some way. I can't really explain it. Some way explain it that I still enjoyed it for some weird reason. It's kind of like if you grew up playing with toys and you go to Toys R Us a lot and you like getting toys from there, but then one time where you can't afford it and you go to the Dollar Tree and then you just like, yeah, I could play with this action figure. It's gonna break in a couple of days, but it's still fun. I hate it because it's a cheap knockoff of what I really want from Toys R Us, but I'm still enjoying playing with it for a little bit. So it's kind of like that. I don't know why this movie to me felt like it was just okay. Not every movie's perfect. I wasn't looking for a Shakespeare movie that was gonna be amazing. I wasn't. I was hoping for like, okay, this movie's awesome. But I got okay. I got it. I was entertained. I got entertained, and that's what you're supposed to go to the movies for. You're supposed to go to the movies to be entertained. I was entertained, so I can't help it. You go in this movie and you think this movie is like the worst movie you ever heard in your life, fine. That's awesome. Applaud it. Don't take my word for it. You want to believe the other guys who saying this movie is the worst movie they've ever seen in life? You can do that. That's no problem. You want to trust my word and say, hey, give it a shot, judge it for yourself. You can do that too. There's nothing wrong with that. Because if you go in there and you end up liking it, more power to you. You end up hating it, more power to you too. There's nothing wrong with that. But I went in there thinking, okay, this is going to be a disaster. I'm going to go in an open mind and check it out anyway. And I thought it was just okay. And like I said, it's not better than Morbius. In my opinion, I think Morbius was a better film. Because I really like Morbius. I thought Morbius was awesome. But I was entertained. It did its job. It made me entertained. I had fun with it for what I was giving. It's kind of like you get something and you don't like it, but you just being nice and it's like, oh, thanks, I like this, and it's like, why the heck do I have this for? But you still cherish it because somebody gave it to you. It's kind of like that. Sony gave me this film. It's like, we might think you might like this, Jonathan. Check it out. Okay, I checked it out. I thought it was okay. I appreciated that. But what can you do? Is it the greatest thing that Sony's ever created? No. Is it the worst thing they've ever created? Maybe, but for some people, sure. For me, not really. I've seen worse movies. Trust me, I've seen worse. Batman and Robin. I can just say that Batman and Robin is probably the worst film I've ever seen in my life, and I'm a huge Batman fan. So yeah. So comparing apples to oranges here, what can you do? So Sony goofed. Whatever. I mean, some people might say they goofed twice because of Morbius, but I actually like Morbius, so there you go. And I thought this movie was just okay. I thought the dialogue was garbage, but, Dakota Johnson and the others were trying. They were given what they were given. And that's all they can do. I mean, there was some... I even forgot that Emma Roberts was in this movie, and she was a waste of time because, honestly, it's like, they were going to go with her for the story, because I knew what they were going to go for her story, and they decided to throw it away. But whatever. What can you do? I mean, if there's a director's cut somewhere of the original story they were going to go with, then maybe one day. But that's not going to happen. But we get what we get. I saw it. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I might watch it again when it comes out on streaming. Just for kicks. I might even add it to my collection because it's part of the Spider-Verse movies, so, whatever. Now I feel like watching Morbius now because I really love Morbius. But anyway, this is my thoughts on Madame Webb. I thought it was just okay. It's not the greatest, not the worst. It has this moments that's like, why that way? And then it has this moments like, okay, I see why you did that. Makes no sense, but I appreciated it. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. You guys think I'm nuts and crazy for liking this movie? Go ahead, call me nuts, call me crazy, whatever. I'm just being honest here. I thought it was okay. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this film. Did you guys hate it? Not hate it? Did you guys not go watch it because you're hearing everybody else saying this is like the worst movie they've ever seen in their life? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys take my advice and go check it out for yourself and judge it for yourself? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much and have a good night.